Well, ever been exposed to Cuban music? Well, the Havana Social Club is a band that specializes in Cuban and Latin American music.
It was formed in 2014 with the aim of exposing Cuban culture and its music to Asia, as well as the rest of the world.
And joining us in studio to give us a taste of what that sounds like is none other than founder and percussionist Pablo Calzado Morales and singer Eddie Fleitas del Sol. Welcome to the show, guys. Pablo, let's start with you. Why did you form Havana Social Club?
Well, I was in Cuba working with traditional musicians and playing Cuban traditional music most of my time. So when I came here, after a few years, I was like feeling the missing home a little bit, and probably the music, mostly the culture, the people, that that sort of feel of dance, and there are a few places that you can listen to Latin music in Singapore, but I was sort of missing my specific music. So I decided, let's just go for it, find the right people, and then my really good colleague was here, so I said, this is the moment to form a Cuban band in Singapore.
Yeah, Pablo, were you surprised that Cuban music is not only loved by Latin American people, but, look at someone like Yvonne, she digs it big time.
Oh, yeah,
were you surprised that Asians also love this sort of music?
Well, exactly. I mean, in Asia has grown in the past 10, 15 years. Is pretty big now. After like maybe Buena Vista and all those musicians came up with that those like popular tunes, and then it sort of came over all the way across, right? So it was like quite fun to come here and know that people knew about this music, so which made us really happy about that at the beginning.
So Eddie, you're from Cuba too.
Yes.
Tell us, what is it like being a singer or part of the band of Havana Social Club?
Well, it's a really good fun because this kind of music really demand a lot of energy and incentivize the people to dance and make them happy. It's such an experience.
Did you always want to be a singer as well, Eddie?
Well, I start as a guitarist when I started in the music school. I graduated as a classic guitar. But after I started to sing and trying, and suddenly, after a few years, I became a singer.
Now, Pablo, you talked about missing your specific kind of music, Cuban music. Tell us what instruments or what sort of rhythms are synonymous with Cuban music.
Okay. Well, in terms of instruments, percussions, we are pretty big. You probably heard about the bongos, maracas, congas. All those instruments are actually born in our country, and sort of they developed throughout the Latin Americas and Mexico and all those different countries around. So percussions and sort of dance, it sort of got mixed together, and that's what represents sort of the style of the music, and salsa, cha-cha-cha, bolero, all those like unique genres of music are also born in Cuba. So so it's sort of I mean, the salsa came from the son, which is a traditional movement in Cuba, but that sort of became much bigger afterwards in Latin America. So we have those genres that we feel identified with.
Cuban music, yeah.
The music that you guys perform, is it something that's very strong from the 60s, from the 50s, from the 70s, or is it, does it have a modern feel to it too?
Yeah, we play a couple classic Cuban songs, the way to say it, right? Like a really traditional music which became from the 60s, 70s, even from the 50s, some of them,
And how was it like adjusting to Singaporean culture when you guys first came here?
Wow, Singapore, I mean...
Did we embrace you with open
yeah,
arms? I think we did, right?
Honestly, I felt like a home at first. The doors were wide open.
Yeah.
So and it was good because starting up and just playing totally new music to the scene here, and everybody was like, "Wow, you guys are so talented." So it was like really, it's not like go away. It's totally opposite. It's people were in love with what we do, and they always come and say nice things to us. So I think Singaporean culture is sort of, in a way, sort of related to our culture in a way. So we felt that it was a nice place to bring our music and be here, as part of the community.
There's something about Cuban music, Latin American music. Every time people hear it, they want to dance.
It's so infectious.
They want to, they want to pretend they can sing, they can dance, they can move, pretend. Well, I do a lot of that. But what is it about Latin American music that makes it so infectious? What do you think those things are?
Yeah, what is that energy?
Oh man, it's the energy.
It's the energy, isn't it?
Happiness. It sort of transpires happiness, and you know, it sort of makes you want to move in a way. You know, it's not that kind of quiet music or classical music which is just only listening. So the Latin American music, because of the beats, I believe everything starts with the percussion.
Yeah.
If you don't have the percussion, you won't find, you know, like that sort of like spicy kind of rhythm.
Yeah.
So the percussion gives that really rhythm into it, and of course with the harmonies and the guitars, bass, and everything sort of combines nicely. But percussions, I think, is very big. That's why we have so many of them in our culture. Yeah.
And Havana Social Club is not just made up of the two of you. There are a lot of other people in the band. Tell us, where are they from? I also understand there is a Singaporean in the
Singaporean,
band.
yes.
I think as a Singapore is a really cosmopolitan place. Our band kind of like absorbed that vibe. We have people from the state. We have
Colombia,
Singaporeans,
Venezuela as well, and mostly Cuba. But we've blended pretty well with Singaporean musicians, which have been in the band throughout the years, and currently we have Singaporean musician, which is almost like half Cuban now. We'll say, as a funny way sometimes, you know, because he's like got to the energy of our music.
Do you guys normally just perform here in Singapore? You try and travel around the region to bring that love across for Cuban music to the rest of the region?
Oh yeah, we've been around. We've been in Malaysia a couple of times, like
Indonesia as well. You know, mostly the countries around the area, Thailand as well, Vietnam. You know, trying to Australia. Actually, we did something like recently this year, but it's trying to always promote the culture. Now we're trying to go to what's North Asia, Japan,
Very
North
nice.
China. We're trying to hit those spots and try to develop that.
I mean, because Japan has a huge bossa nova community there, but I think Cuban music will definitely blend in, or maybe even take over, right?
I know.
Actually, I just lost my train of thought. I had a really important question
Oh,
to ask
come
them.
on.
Oh,
You're
fusion.
too excited.
Fusion music. Have you ever tried to play a blend Cuban music with other genres of music?
Yeah.
Ever since you came to Singapore, like maybe a bit of mando pop, and Cuban
Well,
music.
I've been part of a few Mando or Chinese artist shows around China and in Singapore as well. So I've got to try to sneak in my percussion into it and get given a little bit of that. Before, I also try a couple of fusion bands where we do like maybe jazz or Mando jazz, and then like Shanghai kind of jazz with Latin rhythms in it.
Now we want to hear you guys
Excellent.
play something for us. So you guys get started. We'll just back announce the two of you.
That's
We
right.
were speaking to Pablo Morales and Eddie Fleitas del Sol.
But of course, before we go, we can't let Pablo and Eddie go without a taste of Cuban music. Take it away, guys.
this song we're gonna play is kind of El Cuarto de Tula. It's one of the classic songs from Cuba.
Nice.
This